समझ नहीं आ रहा अपने सैलरी इंक्रीमेंट का क्या करूं।
बेटा इतना क्या सोच रहा है? अपने म्यूचुअल फंड्स के एसआईपी का टॉप अप करा ले। दिस इज द राइट टाइम।
क्या समझ में नहीं आया?
बेटा इतना क्या सोच रहा है? अपने म्यूचुअल फंड्स का एसआईपी टॉप अप करा ले। दिस इज द राइट टाइम।
आप समझा?
Mutual fund investments are subject to market risks. Read all scheme-related documents carefully.
The Prime Minister has hit back in a strong but also somewhat cryptic message. The very unambiguous part of his message hitting back at Donald Trump's 50% tariffs was that India will not surrender, that there could be no compromise when it came to the interests of farmers or those who work in agriculture or dairy. The somewhat more cryptic message was that Modi personally is ready to pay a price to uphold India's stand against Donald Trump. Today, beyond the geopolitics, looking also at the politics of this moment, we'll be speaking in a moment to veteran journalist Neerja Chowdhury. I'm Barkha Dutt, you're with the Mojo Story. On the program today, we try and decode the Prime Minister's first rebuke, a sharp, big statement to Donald Trump's 50% tariff. The Prime Minister said that he was ready to pay a personal price that he knew he would have to pay. But he said that there could be no compromise when it came to India's national interests and the interests of those who are farmers, who work in agriculture, who work in dairy, perhaps giving a glimpse into what the standoff has been between India and America when it comes to trade negotiations. But Trump's response seems to have been to do with much more than just trade, and it's upended geopolitics as we know it. The Prime Minister is headed to China at the end of this month to attend the SCO summit. NSA Ajit Doval is in Russia and confirms that Vladimir Putin his dates for an India visit have also been settled. So geopolitics is getting upended. The old formulas do not work, but there are also politics and domestic politics at play here. The Prime Minister has said that he is ready to pay a personal price in whatever happens next. What did he mean? This on a day when Mallikarjun Kharge, Rahul Gandhi, the opposition in general, has been targeting the Prime Minister for not standing up to Donald Trump. Let me introduce our newsmaker today. Neerja Chowdhury is with us. Good to see you, Neerja. Let me start by, asking you what you made of the Prime Minister's statement. And in fact, let me play it out for you and then we can discuss it. He says कि व्यक्तिगत रूप में, at a personal level, he is ready to pay a price that he knows he has to pay. Take a look.
सोयाबीन, सरसों, मूंगफली, सभी का उत्पादन रिकॉर्ड स्तर पर बढ़ा है। साथियों, हमारे लिए अपने किसानों का हित सर्वोच्च प्राथमिकता है। भारत अपने किसानों के, पशुपालकों के और मछुआरे भाई बहनों के हितों के साथ कभी भी समझौता नहीं करेगा। और मैं जानता हूं व्यक्तिगत रूप से मुझे बहुत बड़ी कीमत चुकानी पड़ेगी, लेकिन मैं इसके लिए तैयार हूं। मेरे देश के किसानों के लिए, मेरे देश के मछुआरों के लिए, मेरे देश के पशुपालकों के लिए आज भारत तैयार है।
So, Neerja, what did you make of that remark? Firstly, it should be said that the Prime Minister, who is a masterful politician, does know how often to create a moment that looks like a back foot into a political opportunity. But here, he is presenting himself as the man who is going to stand up for the farmers, the fisher folk of India, those who work in dairy and agriculture, and he's ready to pay a personal price. And he's not saying that the personal price may come. He's saying he knows that he will have to pay a personal price. What does he possibly mean?
Look, we are all guessing, Barkha, what it could mean because the issue at stake, one is clearly that the sticking point in the negotiations between the US and India was the opening up of the farm sector, where we have obviously taken a position that this is not possible. If we open it to the American goods flooding the Indian market, it's going to mean huge hardship for our farmers who are poor, marginal, and a large number. Therefore, and it may lead to, livelihoods being lost and people not getting enough to eat. And that could create a major political situation. You remember the farm agitation which went on for over a year and the political consequences that had in certain states. So the government and the ruling party knows that this is a sector they cannot give into because this is not about economics or diplomacy. This is about hard politics. Now, this is a national issue. This is in national interest that the Prime Minister is doing it. As the leader of the country who's heading the government today, who has to take these very difficult calls. So to make it into a personal that I will have to pay a personal, I know I will have to pay a personal price. Does it mean, the question that comes to mind is could it be Modi's exit he's looking at? Surely Donald Trump and the United States of America are not saying that tariffs are going to be lower if Narendra Modi goes out of power. That's not the issue at hand. Nor would a country like India agree to something like that. So does he mean that we are heading towards hard days as a result of a tough stand we are taking against America? And that could mean problems. We may have to kamar kasna padega. And that also has political implications. There are several elections down the line. So that is a slow hardship, escalating into a political situation which could be adverse. So is he pointing to that? Now, certainly he's standing up very clearly and sending a clear message to the farmers, to those in the dairy sector, the agriculture sector, the fisher folk. That's a very large number. And as you rightly said, he's trying to turn an adversity into an opportunity, which he's been good at.
So in a way, we don't know, and we're guessing here. But clearly, the response would seem to most Indians to be: I'm standing up to Trump. I, as Prime Minister of India, I'm standing up to Trump. There could be consequences for that. There could be costs to pay, and I am ready to pay those costs. What those costs are is not really defined. Now, what I want to ask you is, when you look at the politics of this moment, the Congress has tried to present Mr. Modi. Even today, Mallikarjun Kharge, leader of the Congress, has hit out at the Prime Minister, spoken about failed foreign policy of the Prime Minister. Rahul Gandhi has been on a kind of different path altogether. He's been bringing Adani into it non-stop. He's been saying Modi's hands are tied. He's even echoed what Trump said about India being a dead economy. And what I noticed when Mr. Gandhi said that was that he was the only one in the Congress party who said that. None of the other Congress leaders responded like that. So how do you see the opposition's response to this national crisis?
Look, Barkha, if you talk to people all around, they are incensed. I will use, they are very angry at the language being used by Donald Trump. And he's singling India out. It's one thing, for instance, to say once, twice, thrice, that we brokered the ceasefire between India and Pakistan. It's another thing to say 29 times, if that is a final figure. And to say, it's like needling India, knowing the sensitivities involved, which we have made clear. So, and then to say we will develop the oil reserves in Pakistan and one day India will have to come and buy petroleum from Pakistan, knowing again the sensitivities with Pakistan. So it is like, not just needling, it is saying do what you have to. And this is creating even those who are critics of the regime today in India, who are critics of the way Modi has handled the economy, the foreign policy. They are angry because there is no way to treat a sovereign nation like India. Forget whether we are the fourth largest, fifth largest economy, all that forget for a moment. No country likes to be talked to like this. And I think ordinary Indians will be very angry. And I think the opposition, while Rahul Gandhi may have a point when he emphasizes, that not enough is being done to create employment on the Adani issue, they've not done well enough on foreign policy in the neighborhood. They've allowed friends to turn into foes. All those are valid points. But is this the moment when Trump is talking about India's economy being a dead economy, which is not true? It may be a troubled economy. There may be problems, but it's not a dead economy. For him to echo Donald Trump's words, he could have waited 3 weeks. He could have done it 4 weeks later. Why do it now and endorse Trump's words? I don't think this is going to go down well with people. Today is a moment when Indians must close ranks on countering the challenge that we posed by Trump, and it's going to, we may have to just knuckle down to hard work. We may need to look at our priorities in the short run, re-look at our priorities in the short run, medium run, long run. Where are we headed? And of course, you talked about the Prime Minister going to China. After 6 years, he'll be going. Putin coming to India. At least Mr. Doval has announced that the dates have been fixed. And the Brazilian leadership saying they will be talking to the BRICS members. So this bloc may get strengthened, and will the strategic partnership that we have so painstakingly built over the last quarter of a century, right from Vajpayee's time, when Brajesh Mishra was the principal secretary, and during Manmohan Singh's time, when Manmohan Singh for 39 months did not give up on the Indo-US nuclear deal. Not because it was just a nuclear deal, because it symbolized this new strategic partnership with the US. So successive prime ministers have done that. And are will we lose this overnight? I hope not. Of course, there are optimists who feel in the next 3 weeks, something may happen, that this is a bargain ploy by Donald Trump. He may climb down as he climbed down in the case of China. One hopes so, but I think we have to be ready to face hard decisions if necessary, and the country needs to rally together to be able to do that.
I agree fully with you that today is a moment that Indians must close ranks. This has nothing to do with domestic political affiliations. That's a separate debate that concerns our internal democracy, and that will carry on. But when you say, why did Rahul Gandhi echo Trump's words at this time? And again, I point out to you that a number of Congress leaders were interviewed after Trump made the point about, use the phrase dead economy to describe India. And nobody else, no other Congress leader actually reinforced or backed Trump's words. Now, but there's one thing that people are pointing out, which is that when Modi made that comment in Parliament that the US Vice President J.D. Vance called him 3 to 4 times in 1 hour, basically he got provoked by domestic politics, because Rahul Gandhi was hammer and tong going on and on and on about why don't you answer Trump, why don't you answer Trump, and that could have been a comment that irritated Washington. Do you think that do you think that Modi was, that moment was born from a need to shut down the critics in the opposition? When Modi's sort of said, oh, Mr. Vance called me 3 to 4 times, I was very busy, I couldn't take his call, I had to call him back, and then so on and so forth. But, there was a slight little laughter in Parliament at that time, and there was this sense that may have bruised Trump's ego further.
Look, it could be, but I would be surprised, because Donald Trump is a is in a league by himself. We've not seen a president of the United States in recent times like that, or of any country. So you don't know what he's going to do next. Having said that, I would be surprised if two democracies of the world fashion their relationships on the basis of a comment which was meant to, as you say, deal with the situation of domestic politics.
Yeah.
Do our relationships get swayed by something like that? You can express unhappiness behind doors. Why did you say that? Like, I'm sure we have expressed unhappiness on Donald Trump saying again and again about brokering the ceasefire. But our relationship, I hope we will continue. The Prime Minister is not named Donald Trump when he's made his comments. And we
That's
have
right.
been, on the whole, circumspect because we realize the enormity of what is at stake, in terms of the relationship, trade, for the well-being of our people. So I think we should continue to be circumspect on this. But I hope things don't spin out of control.
Now, coming back to the politics, I think what I'm hearing you say is that the opposition, in particular the Congress party, may have misjudged or misread this moment, right? And that this is the time that they should take a less partisan position.
Yes, I agree with you. And when you said the Congress leaders were silent after that endorsement of Rahul Gandhi about the dead economy remark of Donald Trump, many of them felt it is not the right moment to make it. You have your own position. You may well believe it's a dead economy or moving
Yeah.
towards a dead economy, or the ruling side is inflating, everything, and that the economy is not doing as well as being made out by the government. Although that position is tenable, you can have that. But to actually, the timing of that remark to do it soon after Donald Trump and to endorse that, when, as I say, it is a self-respect, self-esteem of India that is at stake, that we are fighting for, apart from the trade, and that we be treated as a sovereign nation, independent sovereign nation, and be given our due. I think
Absolutely.
that every Indian expects today, and it is that about Donald Trump's remarks that anger people, that make people very unhappy for all our close relationship with the United States of America, which would like
So,
to nurture.
so to come back to the politics of it, there is great speculation in Delhi that all of this is going to lead to big changes in the cabinet. This is that typical speculation with this government. You never know. You do not know the prime minister's mind till well after the fact. But there's a lot of chatter already that even as India seeks to tide over this moment as a united nation, there will have to be somebody who will carry the cross for something that has gone wrong. Now, either it has gone wrong because Trump, and that is true, he's a neo-imperialist who thinks he's the world's class monitor while being so badly behaved himself, and it's just that. Or there could be a perception that something else has gone wrong in the management of this issue, and we don't know which one it is. Right now, we only know the Prime Minister is saying, I'm standing up to America, I'm standing up for my country, and I'm ready to pay the price. But do you believe that this will lead to rumbles within? We don't, for example, know how the RSS is looking at this. We don't know what the chatter is within the Sangh.
I think, Barkha, that this thing of somebody taking the rap for, say, failure on foreign policy, failure of,
Yeah.
particularly in the neighborhood with Russia not doing enough. Of course, has to be with China today. It's not a Russia of yesterday. So all those factors are there. But say, hypothetically speaking, if the Prime Minister goes in for a cabinet reshuffle at this time and say moves Jay Shankar to another portfolio, it is also a huge admission of failure. And I don't know, with everything else that they have on their plate, whether they will want to do that at this particular junction or at all, and or open several other fronts where they have to fight. I don't know. Of course, the buzz has been there for some time now, since late June, that,
Yeah.
this is on the card organizationally it's on the cards, and also the party chief has not been yet appointed, and his or her appointment would have been linked to changes in the cabinet. At least that is what was said. But I think they will first try and stabilize the situation on the tariff front before going in for major changes. I would suspect that.
So, and in a way, I agree with you that although, sort of people assume that if there is going to be someone taking the rap, it will be the foreign minister. I tend to agree with you that moving even a portfolio change, and it's too premature to talk about this. This is simply open, this is just speculative chatter in the national capital. That would mean admitting that India, somewhere could have handled this differently. And the Modi government will not want to do this. At the moment, they see Trump as the offender. Trump, who has thrown discretion to the winds. Trump, who has basically demolished the rules of global trading and global diplomacy. So I actually agree with you that the first order of business will be to stabilize the tariff situation. Now, we have two interesting developments taking place at the same time. One, we have the special envoy of the president of Russia confirming that a Putin-Trump summit may happen next week. And Trump has also told Fox News that he's open to this. For me, all of this just underscores Donald Trump's hypocrisy. So when Trump meets Putin, when Trump in the past has called Putin smart and his friend, it's fine. When, when America and Russia do trade, including importing fertilizers and uranium, it's fine. But if we purchase Russian oil, there's something wrong with it. So this is all more examples of staggering hypocrisy of America. The question for you is this. Modi has invested a lot of his political capital in foreign diplomacy, in global diplomacy. This is, I'm sure, stung him personally. There is some talk that Trump was bruised because when Trump was not yet president, he didn't meet Trump. There is other talk that all Trump wanted was validation for Operation Sindoor and America's messaging in that. And, India was so angry that Trump had behaved the way that he had, that was not possible. Finally, if you were to look at whether Modi will ever forget this. Let's say Trump and Putin reach an agreement, and Russia is suddenly not the so-called bad boy in the room. Then Trump loses his excuse to put this 50% tariffs. But can India forget this moment of being spoken to like a recalcitrant naughty boy?
Absolutely right. So this is what I started off with, Barkha. It's not oil imports from Russia that is the real reason for the situation that the impasse that there is. There are other reasons for it. Otherwise, China is importing so much oil. This summit that you're talking about, it is quite possible. Things he may go back to the earlier bonhomie that he had with Putin. That's Trump. So I think, the question that is being asked is, was there a misjudgment on the part of the Prime Minister about Donald Trump, in whom he invested so heavily in a personal fashion?
Yeah.
Over the years. And I would say, as we talk today, yes, I would say yes, it was a misjudgment.
And therefore, if Trump it seems to be personal for Trump for some reason, you're saying Modi is also going to walk away from this feeling personally betrayed. Or maybe betrayed is a big word, but personally irritated for sure. I mean, this is beyond. This is a geopolitical challenge, but it's also a personal embarrassment for the Prime Minister. It is, because he has invested, these kind of moments with Trump. I mean, can you ever see him hugging Trump again?
That, of course, is possible. Things change. Suppose the tariff rates come down and, everything is hunky-dory. Of course, that is possible that they will embrace again.
Yeah.
And this is the way politics runs. This is the way diplomacy runs. So there's nothing permanent. But yes, I would say if one were in Modi's shoes and the way he's invested and the way Trump has gone on and on and on and on in the last weeks, ever since Operation Sindoor, just targeting India. and unfairly. I think the words used by the MA the three words are absolutely right. It is very unreasonable and unfair what they have done. If there was fairness to it, people would take it, some of it give and take, you'd, work out something. But it is as if you're targeting India, singling out India. And I would say Modi would be feeling not very happy with that situation. We are a proud nation.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's why I think this moment is well beyond political affiliations. It's well beyond domestic politics. It is about India and India's right to its own policy, our own decisions, our own trading partners, our own foreign policy, and not being dictated to and not being, publicly spoken down to in the way that Trump has chosen to do over and over again. As they say, watch this space. I personally think the Prime Minister could convert this moment into a political, into a moment where he's the guy who's standing up to Trump. So what looks like a moment of personal sort of discomfort for him could end up being very different. It all depends on what the economic consequences are, how long these tariffs last, can there be a walk back by Trump from them? And also, Neerja, I'll just say that nothing is permanent in politics, because China, that was reported to have backed Pakistan in this Operation Sindoor war, Modi will be in China at the end of this month. So that just goes to show that, nothing is permanent in either politics or geopolitics. We leave it there. Neerja Chowdhury, always a pleasure talking to you. Thank you. Take care. See you soon.
Thank you, Barkha.
Thank you.
It's great to see you here. Thank you for watching our work. If you haven't subscribed yet, don't forget to click the bell icon and subscribe to Voter Story and support independent, robust journalism.